This is the Songwriting Mind, a program exploring the personal depths of creativity, stories, and craft that define songwriting. In this episode, we'll hear from This Old Man, a songwriter based in Tasmania. Enjoy.
I wasn't a fan of writing. I've got issues with my wrist, when I was in my 40s or 30s or something. Anyway, I've got broken wrist and I've had tendon transplants in my right wrist. So at the time, the orthopedic surgeon said, you don't play guitar or piano, do you? And at the time I said no. And he said, well, that's good because you probably won't be able to. I said, oh, well. I didn't think about it, but years later, here I am playing my own style of guitar and mandolin and the harmonium. So most of my expertise came after the hand damage because I was just determined to send energy down that way. The first poem that came to me, I was anti-poem, didn't really like it. It was just waffle to me. I didn't really understand poetry. I knew that there was two forms. There's the boring stuff, which was da 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 da, and that rhythmicity was just like limerickal. Either that or just prose, where instead of writing it properly in sentences, you just have a couple of words and then a couple more words, and it's just prose, and they're calling it poetry. And I'm thinking that's rubbish. There's got to be some rule to call it poetry. So I didn't find out all those rules till a long time later. But no, I didn't really like poetry, but the first poem came to me in a dream. And this is absolute truth. So my grandmother was in a nursing home, curled up in a fetal position, dying, afraid to die because she was persecuted by the Christians who brought her up simply because she wasn't born properly. Through no fault of her own, her mother had an affair with someone else. So anyway, she was in a bed, dying. I was in, I think, Tasmania. It could have been Adelaide. I can't remember where I was, but a long way away on the other side of the country. And I had this dream, and it was so powerful that I woke myself up and I wrote it down verbatim. It says, stand tall as the body falls, old and bent and twisted. Take firm in hand the knowledge you've gained from all the years you've visited. Scenes will fade from the life just lived as they flash by your mind. Let them go as you leave all else. Leave it all behind. Take yourself, your very self, your heart, your soul, your might, and take God's hand as you walk with Him, as you walk into the night. So that was the first poem, and I don't give myself credit for it because I dreamed it. So was that my higher self, in which case I can say I credited it, or was it someone else whispering in my ear? I don't know. But that was the first poem that I ever wrote, and I turned that into a song as well, and I'll be singing that at my mum's funeral. Stand tall as the body falls, old, bent, twisted. Take firm in hand the knowledge you've gained from all the years you visited. Scenes will fade from the life just lived as they flash by your mind. Let them go as you leave all else. Leave it all behind. Take yourself, your very self, your heart, soul, your might, and take God's hand as you walk with Him, as you walk into the night. And take God's hand as you walk with Him, as you walk into the night. But what really, other than the Sanskrit, which came from just sort of like a sense of bhakti, where you get a warm-hearted feeling and you just have to let it out. And so Sanskrit's good for that. But I had a marriage that lasted for 7 years, and then she decided she wanted to be with somebody else. And it didn't end well. And so as a consequence of that, that trauma actually opened the floodgates. So it's almost, it can't be a literal analogy, otherwise it wouldn't be an analogy. No, but there were the tears, heart broken, that actual stuff, heart broken so much that it turns to complex PTSD, and you have to have specialist psychological support to, I've got a psychology degree myself, but how do you, like physician heal yourself sort of thing? Sometimes you need external help. And then the writing came from the pain, just somewhere to write it down. And so that started a torrent of writing, all sorts of things. And the necessity, I think that's a good word, the necessity. It has to be done. I chose to ride the wave of emotions. I didn't want to stop it. I wanted to learn how to handle it. I've only ever tried surfing a few times, travelling up the east coast of Australia many years ago, decades ago, So I know what it's like to be dumped by a wave. And that's what it felt like to me, to be dumped. And broken heart is almost correct terminology, because when it's broken, then the emotions leak out. And you can't stop them from leaking out. And emotions are all water, you see. They're all mixed in together. You can't just slot them away. Oh, here's anger, here's love, here's happiness, here's longing. They don't exist like that. They're all swirling around together in there. They're ethereal. They're not physical. They're not logical. You can compartmentalize words and use logic, but logic does not understand emotions. And emotions can't feel intellect. You need a catalyst. You need something to join the two together. And that therein lies the witness, which is who we are. You see, we have emotions and we have thoughts. So who is it that's having either of these? So the emotions belong to the physical body, and it's doing this thing. It's having a physiological response to the psychological trauma of life is completely changed now because of whatever events predisposed the trauma. And that can be many for many different people. But from now on, life is completely different. And the whole safety issues, now who do I trust, because this really out-of-the-box thing has happened. Here I am being somewhat comfortable in believing this reality, and all of a sudden a new reality has superseded that previous reality, which I thought was fine, or whatever. So, yes, once reborn, you can't go back again. It has to be out and about and let out. So that's why I wrote songs, and I just wrote them down. And sometimes I'd come back to them. Sometimes they have several iterations. most of my songs, particularly the ones that I really like, they either start with a melody or a beat, or they start with the words, and then the rhythm, or, you fill it in later and it becomes a song. There's a whole mental process that goes with, being a cathartic writer, because I was a cathartic writer there for a while. So, I'm talking about, for example, in So Who Am I, when in the blink of an eye, it's all over. I just kept thinking like that. That became a song. And then there's other ones like, it was Love at First Sight. I remember the delight of our very first kiss, in real life. It was love at first sight. I remember the delight of our very first kiss. In real life, we were brought together. I thought it was forever when I asked her to be my wife. Live, love, and be happy. I wish you all the best. Take each day as it comes, forget about all the rest. Live, love, and be happy. I wish you all the best. Take each day as it comes, forget about all the rest. I loved you right from the start. I really tried to do my part, but I just couldn't heal your pain. So I had to watch you go. Sadly, even though I still think about you now and again. So live, love, and be happy. I wish you all the best. Take each day as it comes, forget about all the rest. But, there's all these songs that take some sadness and go on the paper or describe the story so that I could write it down. So they're story-based. But there's some sadness in there, but it's cathartic. And quite often, sometimes I put sad music to, or the sad melody to the words that are also sort of melancholic. But usually if it's sad, I put a happy tune to it, like that. I don't know why, but it seems to work. But one thing I did notice was there wasn't so many happy songs in amongst them. And I tried to force myself to write happy song. Didn't work. So I just left it for a while and did other things. And then, every now and then I just sort of let it go, so to speak, just do other things, go and mow the lawn or get on with life. 6 months later, I might pick up the guitar or something. And so I write a happy song about something else, like, where is it? Sitting in the morning sun, that's right. I came out of winter. It had been winter and, winter. We all get sort of semi-depressed, too much melatonin, too much darkness, not enough light, not enough exercise, not enough heat, plus, whatever else you got going on in your life. So, and then out comes the morning sun. And it's just, it sparked off a thing. So that was nice. Sitting in the morning sun, glistening brightly all over there. Leaves are turning golden, wind blows them everywhere. Seasons come, seasons go, we travel through space and time. Life goes on as it carries us on this journey so sublime. We try to make the best of it, take each day as it comes. Make each day a better way. Be the one you wanna become. Try to make the best of it. Take each day as it comes. Make each day a better way. Be the one you wanna become. Toast on the fire this morning. Coffee pot sitting there a-boiling. A new day is dawning, and I'm glad I'm still alive. Try to make the best of it. Take each day as it comes. Make each day a better way. Be the one you wanna become. Try to make the best of it. Take each day as it comes. And make each day a better way. Be the one you wanna become. Frost on the ground is thawing. Early morning chorus of birds are calling. Sun peeps around the corner to brighten up my day. And try to make the best of it. Take each day as it comes. And make each day a better way. Be the one you wanna become. Try to make the best of it. Take each day as it comes. Make each day a better way. Be the one you wanna become. Other ones about the whole world, like going nowhere. I just had a thought. I was in the shower at the time. I've written a few songs. Not the whole song, but some of the song in the shower. So I'm having a shower, whatever. And yeah, I got this song, and it was "We're all going nowhere on a spinning globe in space," because I was thinking about climate change and whatever. And then I said, what fate awaits us, we as the human race? I actually just thought it like that and let it it sort of coalesced into that sort of poetry bit. And then I thought again, useless hate and worries about the colour of a face. Some of us are starving while others dine in lace. And it's just, the thoughts just coalesced into that poetic sort of thing. Started out as a bit of frustration because, endless warnings of what's happening and what we're in for. Endless warnings. And I keep thinking that the songwriters, the minstrels, the musicians, we're the prophets. We're out in the wilderness, out in Parkham somewhere. Singing into the breeze about worldwide events that affect us. We might not be in Gaza, we might not be in Washington DC or wherever the action is, but it's eventually going to affect us because we're part of this planetary existence, because we're all in it together. That's what got me thinking. If you could only think about, we're all going nowhere. And the nowhere doesn't relate to the path in space, even though it does, because we don't know where it is. It's just nowhere. There's no signposts out there. But it more relates to the stupidity, the rampant stupidity of humanity, placing all of our values into an economy-based system, which is soulless. It only has one ideology, and that's make profit. How you make profit, it doesn't give a shit. It's on paper, make profit for the shareholders. Okay, off we go then. That's it. That's what corporations do. They make profit. This one took a little while to construct. Yes, this is going to be a song. And depending on who's playing it with me, I can play it either soft and sort of melancholic or sort of angry and loud. It's kind of like that. So I'll do a softer one because I don't want to get too upset. So it's called Going Nowhere. We're all going nowhere on a spinning globe in space. Oh, what fate awaits us, we as the human race. Useless hate and worries about the color of a face. Some of us are starving while others dine in lays. This web of life, it's fragile. We must take our place as keepers of the farmlands. Oh, these are our dying days. We need to learn to love. It's our only saving grace. We have to share this planet. We have to share this space. We have to tell the story. We have to make the case. Because of all the plastic, we're drowning in our own waste. This web of life, it's fragile. We must take our place as keepers of the waters. Oh, these are our dying days. We've created an economy and then set it up as the base. But so much greed and profit, the whole thing's a disgrace. The natural world sustains us, and we must now embrace. It's gonna take a lot of work, or we'll just self-erase. This web of life, it's fragile. We must take our place as keepers of the forests. Oh, these are our dying days. Keepers of the forests. So these are our dying days. Keepers of the farmlands. Oh, these are our dying days. Keepers of the waters. Oh, these are our dying days. Keepers of the forests. Oh, these are our dying days. We're all made out of the same stuff. Again, it's about having a worldview, because there's a lot of people thinking tribally, thinking colour of skin or, this absurd notion of race. Race doesn't exist. It's a political term. But in biology, it doesn't exist. There's only one race. It's the human race. And we have different melanin in our skin, and different varieties of genetics. But we're only less than 1% different genetics from a chimpanzee or a bonobo, So this whole concept of race is just stupid. And so this song, again, it came to me somehow, one of these intuitive ones, and I was thinking about, again in the shower, these are the waters that carry my name. And the waters refers to, and it's a bit of a good segue, because, you wanted to talk about Sanskrit later. Waters relates to Svadhisthana chakra, which is your ancestrals, your sort of karmic DNA kind of stuff. And it also relates in the physical body to the DNA producing organs and fluids, etc. So it's a bit of an analogy to that. And I'm saying, these are the waters that carry my name. These are the waters from DNA I came. These are the waters, we're all the same. We're all born from the fluids associated with DNA getting together. Mother, father, get together, we're born. We are all coming from that. We're all made out of the same stuff. We're all born little, tiny, naked beings that need love, nurturing, care and comfort, which is what I'm trying to say in here. Yeah, so I'll play this one for you. These are the waters that carry my name. These are the waters from DNA I came. These are the waters, we're all the same. We're all made out of the same stuff. We're all made out of the same stuff. Sound of the wind and sound of the rain. Sound of the waves crashing in again. Sound of gentle music healing the pain. We're all made out of the same stuff. We're all made out of the same stuff. A healing begins and we learn to grow. A healing begins when we start to know. A healing begins, can we learn to say no? We're all made out of the same stuff. We're all made out of the same stuff. Knowing about how to safely say yes. Knowing about how I like to be caressed. Knowing about how I want to be my best. We're all made out of the same stuff. We're all made out of the same stuff. We're all in this together, a great big sea. We're all in this together, even you and me. We're all in this together, we are humanity. We're all made out of the same stuff. 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 The Sanskrit stuff is much more simple. It's just words to carry the feeling. And in a way, it's more pure for me. It's important not to get too intellectual about the meaning of the Sanskrit words. Essentially, there's not much to it. They're just saying different versions or different names for divinity. In India, and this is a tradition that comes from India, I call it spiritual folk music, because you can have highly organized and brilliantly composed ragas that are very intellectual and stunningly beautiful as well. But kirtan as a style is very simple. It's simple because it's meant to be simple for folk people who can, they might find one string and then, put it against a stick and make a one-string banjo out of an old bucket or something, and now I've got 2 notes I can play. Instant, brilliant. Now we've got a kit and we've got a band, let's get on with it, let's sing and dance and have some fun. Now this is very simple. It just goes Om Namah Shivaya. Now Om is a wonderful sound. It's the sound, the basic vibratory sound of the universe. Some say it's the primordial sound from which all other things manifest. And in this particular 3D world of manifestation, it manifests as Om, like that. So you got Om, Nama means name, and Shiva is just a word for God or Godhead or consciousness. Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. What about that one? Om Aham, Om Aham, Om Aham Brahmasmi. All I'm saying is Om, and Aham means I am. Brahmasmi means I am part of that which is. I am part of the godness. Brahma is the God. And if the God made me, then I must be part of that because God made me. What does mother make the baby out of? From her body comes the baby. So from the Godhead comes me. So I'm made out of God. So I am God. So I better act like God and respect all of God's creation in a non-religious way. But that's my simplistic way of understanding, And that's what this song is about. It's just, I am. So let me be, I am. I am, I am, I am. Godness. Yeah. I think the mantra predates me, but I put it together like this. The best way to learn anything is bits and pieces. If you try and put in an hour's worth of practice, yes, I've got to study and practice and get all frustrated and all of this, you're actually fighting against yourself. You're actually better off, and there's evidence to back this up, particularly with physical skills, that if you put in some physical practice, say 5 or 10 minutes or 15 or whatever, but whatever you conceive to be a short amount of time, and then go away and do something else, whatever, and then do another short amount of time. So instead of doing an hour all at once, you get an hour's worth of practice, but in smaller bits and pieces, because that gives your brain and nervous system time to digest and understand at their level, because they're all subconscious, remember, at their level what you're trying to do. So they will make adjustments, and then the next time you have a little practice, you're a little bit better. And every time you're a little bit better, you're a little bit better. And what's better than getting a little bit better? Well, getting a lot better by having a lot of little bit betters. But if you try and get a lot better all at once, you get frustrated, and you don't get a little bit better. You get a bit frustrated and a little bit better. So you're sort of wasting some of that energy. And other than that, just make up tunes, I suppose. Even if you can't play, just tap. Start off with a rhythm. Once you got a rhythm, then start whistling. And if you don't have a rhythm, go for a walk, because walking is a rhythm. And then you can add rhythm to that, and then overlays and stuff like that. And, once you start and getting a lots of little bits of better, then sooner or later you're not too bad. That's my advice from this old man.
Thank you for listening to the Songwriting Mind. This interview with this old man was recorded on February 8th, 2025 in Wilmot, Lutruwita, Tasmania. You can find his music at this-old-man.bandcamp.com. If you enjoyed this episode, please rate the podcast, leave a comment, and share it with others. Peace.
Navavyoma Bhumirna Tejo Navayu Chidananda Rupaha Shivaham Shivaham Chidananda Rupaha Shivaham Shivaham Navai prana sangya, navai panchavayu, navai saptadharturna, vapanchakosha, navakpani padauna chopashtapayu, chirananda, rupaha. Shivaham Chidananda Rupaha Shivaham Shivaham Name Raga Deveshau Name Loba Mohau Madoneva Maineva Matsarya Bhava Na dharmo, na charto, na kamo, na mokshaha Chirananda Rupaha Shivaham Shivaham Chirananda Rupaha Shivaham Shivaham Na punyam na papam na saukyam na dukham na mantro na tirtho na veda na yajna Bhakta Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham Chidananda Rupa Shivoham 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 Namrityu na shanka name jati beda pita neva me neva mata na janma na bandur na mitram guru neva shishaha Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham Chidananda Rupa Shivoham 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 Aham nirvikalpo Nirakararupo Vibhutavacha Sarvatra Sarvendriyanam Nacha Shangatam Neva Muktirna Bandha Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham Chidananda Rupa Shivoham 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 Shivoham